Today on Oz Rodeo, we head to northwest Queensland cattle country for the 60th anniversary of the annual Curry Merry Muster Festival. Nestled in the heart of the Queensland outback, Cloncurry sits 770 kilometres or 480 miles west of Townsville and 117 kilometres east of Mount Isa, which is about 73 miles for our friends in the States. The town's location, history and industry have created a perfect storm for producing some of the country's top rodeo talent, because this is Aussie cowboy heartland. Beginning in 1954, the Merry Muster, as the locals call it, put Cloncurry on the map. 60 years later, and with a brand new arena, the Curry Merry Muster Festival still brings together some of the best athletes from around the country.
This year, as you can see, it's a complete new setup. Everything's new, and it's a credit to the committee on how they've got it looking and that. And yeah, no, it should be a first-class show.
This state-of-the-art complex is just a real tribute to a hard-working committee to help northwestern Queensland communities put on an A+ program that we're going to see over this weekend at the Merry Muster for Cloncurry, the Curry Merry Muster. There we go.
The 2014 Curry Merry Muster was held over 2 days and marked the event's Diamond Jubilee. With the opening of the new arena and a host of both local and national athletes on show, the Merry Muster drew a large crowd from right across the state.
Well, I'm hoping they really like it. I hope the community gets behind it and supports it. From talking to the competitors today, everybody has loved it. They're excited to compete in it. This year will be obviously a standout 60th anniversary for us.
Cloncurry's got an atmosphere like no other. It's truly unique, and you've actually got to be here to witness it, to feel it and live it and breathe it. It's the bush and the city and the tourism, and everyone gets together and combines, and it just makes a great atmosphere of rodeo, and it's one of the best known rodeos in the country.
The matchup between former hometown cowboy Troy Mara and reigning bucking bull of the year Chuckles was the ride the crowd had come to see, matching the hometown hero against one of the toughest bulls on offer in Australia. However, it was just one of the 12 exciting events on show at this year's muster.
Watch out for the timed event Cowboys and Cowgirls, whether it be the ladies breakaway roping, the barrel racing competition, the rope and tie, the steer wrestling and team roping. There is big bucks on offer, there's big entries, and we're really looking forward to a wonderful weekend of pro rodeo.
Up first, the ladies barrels, and ex-Circuit Association champion Bianca Hertel, riding her pony Cash, got the business done.
Doing a nice little job, the New South Wales-based cowgirl.
Despite almost coming unstuck at the last barrel, Hertel registered a time of 17.567 seconds, edging out Michaela Saunders and Wendy Caben to take home the money. It was business as usual in the rope and tie, as Shane Kenny again reminded the competition why he is a true champion of the sport. The 14-time all-round Australian champion scored 10.95, securing the first place and adding yet another victory to an already illustrious career. The Saddle Bronc competition showcased some of the best riders in Australia across 2 days of competition.
What you doing, cowboy? Takes him outside. Ooh, yeah. Takes him hard. He's got the Bronc, starts to work a little chest across.
Here's John McNamee's ride on Poison Arrow, which won him the Open event.
Claim a check here, Curry for 2014, Poison Arrow. Come on, Johnny McNamee, let's start the Bronc ride right about now. Yeah, loosens up.
McNamee made the 8 seconds count, scoring 75 points to take out the Open competition. The Saddle Bronc action didn't stop there at the Curry Merry Muster, with the 6 highest profile riders of the Open competition taking their place in the Ken Coleman Memorial Shootout, which is held on the last day of competition. We'll bring you all of the action from the Saddle Bronc Shootout a little later in the program.
Hey, how about a round of applause?
Townsville-based cowboy Mark Gibb put on a very tidy performance.
Let's get after one, Gibbo. Bring him round, yeah, baby.
With a 3.5 second run to beat hometown cowboy Todd Remfrey and take out the steer wrestling title. While in the ladies breakaway roping, Stacey Wilburn was the only woman to go under 3 seconds flat.
And ladies and gentlemen, nice bit of work for Stacey Wilburn,
as she comfortably won the contest with an impressive 2.8 second run. After 6 sections, 2 days of competition and more than 100 competitors, you couldn't have written a better script than the team roping, with the final riders in the competition, Liam Davidson and Campbell Hodson, needing to go under 6.3 seconds to take out the title. Hodson started well, quickly taking care of the head loop and turning the calf, allowing Davidson to wrap up the heels and complete the dally in time to claim the 2014 Joe Robinson Memorial Team Roping Contest.
Somebody get a bucket of water for the stopwatch. There's a little bit of smoke coming out of the buttons on that thing.
Next up, the Ken Coleman Memorial Shootout, featuring the 6 highest rated riders from the Open Saddle Bronc competition and 6 of the toughest horses on offer at the Merry Muster. All 6 cowboys were hoping to avoid drawing current Australian Bucking Horse of the Year Troubled Waters when the name came out of the hat, but it was Tamworth product Danny Swadling who got the tough task of taking on the Aussie Bucking Horse champ.
Troubled Waters.
First out of the chute was Greg Hamilton with a tough ride on his horse Twin Towers, hanging on for the 8-second count to register a solid 78 and chalk up his first successful ride of the competition. Throughout both days of saddle bronc competition, the calibre of stock on show had been extremely high, and the shootout was no exception to the rule as 3 riders tasted the Cloncurry dust. Andrew Turvey was bucked by his ride, X-rated.
He gets a wild one here in the Coleman shot.
Cameron Webster couldn't hang on against Hugo, and moves like Jagger proved too strong for John Turvey. Cody Angland was up next, riding the horse Little Sister.
Cowboy let her rip and take the champ, Cody Angland. Oh, hard start, now loosens up with the feet. Ladies and gentlemen.
Big things were expected from Angland, and he didn't disappoint.
South Welshman. Oh, 10 out of 10. Come on, Cloncurry.
That ride left Angland sitting pretty and on top of the shootout points table with a score of 84. The final ride of the shootout was left to Tamworth cowboy Danny Swadling as he took on the reigning Bucking Horse of the Year, Troubled Waters, needing a score of 85 to top the table. Swadling thought he had done enough with the solid ride, but it wasn't to be as the judges awarded a score of 82 for second place, leaving Cody Angland as the winner of the 2014 Ken Coleman Memorial Shootout.
Bronc riding contest.
Angland backed up in the open bareback competition with confidence sky high after winning the shootout.
Yeah, talk about 100% exposure. Come on, Cloncurry. 77 points to Cody Angland.
After Angland's strong opening score, it all came down to Jamie Howlett, and his ride on Cheyenne Boy was to decide the competition.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Howlett pipped Angland at the post with an 80-point ride in a dominant display, coming away with the open bareback title.
Yeah, put your hands together, Cloncurry.
Next up, it's the event the crowds come to see, the 2014 Curry Merry Muster Open Bull Riding Competition. 35 cowboys made their way to Cloncurry to take part in the competition, giving the crowd a healthy dose of thrills, spills and quality rides.
110% try, the kid just would not say die.
Former Australian junior steer riding champion Jackson Gill kicked things off.
Come with us on this one, round the corner. Hey, Cloncurry, now he's
along with Wagga-based cowboy Carl Green, both were able to hang on for the 8 and record scores of 78 points. With the quality of stock on offer in the open bull riding competition, it was always going to be a tough day at the office for some of the cowboys taking part. Luckily for the riders who came unstuck, 2 of the most accomplished bullfighters in the business, in Clint Kelly and Simon the Batman Bat, were on hand to prove why they are considered to be the best in the business. Getting back to the pointy end of the competition, it was time for Cloncurry to see what a current Australian champion bucking bull looked like. The pride and joy of the Gill brothers, Penn Chuckles, lined up against former Australian bull riding champ Troy Mara in one of the most anticipated rides of the night.
Now, cowboy! Oh yeah, baby! Yeah, round the corner, ladies and gentlemen! Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, brand new leader in the contest, 81 points to Troy Mara.
It was left to Tristan Hartley with one of the last rides of the competition to challenge Mara's score. Hartley's bull Tattoo shot out of the chute early, but Hartley recovered well to stay upright for the full 8 seconds. But it wasn't enough to snatch first place, registering a score of 79 points to take second and leave the former Aussie champ Troy Mara as the 2014 Open Bull Riding Champion of the Curry Merry Muster.
Yeah, well, being from Cloncurry and I got a lot of family and friends here, last night when they were talking it up, I Hadn't been on one for that long. I was pretty nervous and everything. I thought, well, tonight's tonight. If I'm going to do anything, tonight's tonight, step up.
That wraps up Oz Rodeo's coverage of the 2014 Curry Merry Muster in Cloncurry. We look forward to having your company again next week when we travel to the largest rodeo event in the Southern Hemisphere, the Mount Isa Mines Rotary Rodeo. Will Troy Mara go back-to-back in the open bull ride, or will another cowboy take the top prize? Find out when Oz Rodeo brings you all the action next week. Until then, thanks for watching and see you at Mount Isa.